Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video from the Demon Overlord. And today, as you can see, I will be reviewing the Icons of the Realms, Orcus, Demon Lord of Undead, or also known as the Demon Prince of Undead, or known as the Blood Lord. First, beginning with the outside of his box. It's quite nice, a simple size, good for storage, as well as some lovely artwork on the sides as it rotates here. You can see a nice little side shot of him. As well on the back, we get a more up close and more personal profile, and you get to see that crazy face staring back at you. Oh, good artwork on the box overall. The Demon Overlord approves and likes. I love it when they actually put the effort to put lovely art on boxes. It makes you feel like it is a true premium miniature. Let's get to opening this bad boy, shall we? And for that, I will be pulling out the Sword of Opening. And there we go. He's out of the box and ready to menace your tabletop. This is just a nice up close shot of his chest and body, so you can see that terrifyingly rotting goat like head he sports. You also see his lovely wand of Orcus, which I will point to right now with my sword. It is a terrifying weapon, and many undead liches and others such would love to get their hands on it if they had earned Orcus's favor. He also sports a lovely sort of like scar branding on his chest going down into his lower abdomen. Not sure what that's about, as I don't know all the lore on this demon lord. But one thought, is he more powerful than the demon overlord? You are absolutely crazy to assume such. He wishes he had my level of power. But I have no problem reviewing him nonetheless. I love his design. Let's get a lovely full 360 view, or a full spinning rotation of this bad boy, shall we? Now let his evil carousel begin. And there he goes. As you can see, he is indeed a big, beefy boy. He is a real chungus of monsters. Now, he is very lovely sculpt. I mean, his legs are a little bit sad, unfortunately, due to their squat nature, but it still looks interesting as he does have that dynamic flying into the air pose. So it is a very nice action pose they've caught him in. And once again, we have this lovely new swoop base, at least that's what I call it. And he is very solidly attached to this base, which is also positive. I do love his overall aesthetic. He even carries his lovely brandished Orcus wand with pride and vigor. Now, compared to older Orcus minis, I definitely say he does stand out. He's on a gargantuan base, but that is merely for the fact of his stability. He is still a huge creature in all intents and purposes. Now, shall I get to the point where I compare him to some other powerful miniatures or other minis to see how he stacks up next to other creatures he may have to deal with? Here we have Orcus standing next to a couple of some fellow huge-sized demons, such as the Goristro and the Baelor. Both terrifying nonetheless, but definitely something that Orcus may call upon if need be. But let's be honest, being the demon prince of Undeath, he's definitely not willing to use creatures that would be more loyal to his evil brother Demogorgon. He would rather rule over the undead and have the complete dominational control. So let's compare him to some undead creatures, shall we? Here we have a shot of more likely what Orcus would rather be surrounding himself with. Undead of different sorts. We have some random undead spellcasters, zombie brutes, a zombie shark, something he would probably keep in the fish tank behind him. Wink. And also a terrifying undead frost giant, or skeletal frost giant. Creatures Orcus would rather use as his pure dominational control. There would be no question and no loss of their loyalty to him in his battle against trying to reclaim his throne from his evil brother Demogorgon. Now that I say this, let's compare him to Demogorgon and some other devils, shall we? And some other creatures such as devils, my apologies. Now, here he is next to his evil brother, or at least an older miniature of his evil brother, Demogorgon. And as you can see, he is greatly larger. Though I had fun painting the Demogorgon, he is just outclassed by this pure size and majesty of Orcus, the terrifying Prince of Undeath, or the Blood Lord. He just has such an imposing figure with those wings, and ready to go into combat, and bring down his natural spellcasting skill upon you and his waves of undead. Here he is next to a couple devils. We have him next to a mighty legion pit fiend. We have him next to Zariel, the crazy fallen angel of doom in the Nine Hells. And then we have a simple drowning devil back there from Pathfinder, just because he was a pretty big, beefy devil. And as you can see, even these three would offer no size challenge to the great Orcus. Though Zariel is powerful in her large size, Orcus does have her defeated in the size category alone, and his might and presence. Here's another shot of him compared to some other miniatures. Here we have the Pathfinder Elder Thing, and then we have a Demon Lord creature looking dragonish monster that I made a Demon Lord-esque creature from another board game. I think it was called Hero Quest or something like, or not Hero Quest. It was one of those more chibi looking games, I would call it. And as you can see, he dwarfs even them, even though an Elder Thing is one of those immortal creatures from the Lovecraftian world. Orcus would fear none of them and bring down his undead making might. And then for another comparison, here we have Orcus next to my painted Magic the Gathering Eldrazi, I guess I would say scion of one of the great titans. And then we have a Flesh Warp, a simple fleshy looking abomination that would be no more or less at home in the tendril masses of the Eldrazi, but a creature from Pathfinder, just so we could compare, and seeing that he still towers over these two with his mighty size and bulk. Though at least the Eldrazi monster looks slightly more in the size category of thickness, but still cannot compete. And here we have Orcus against some overworld creatures, or from the prime material plane. Here he is standing next to a cloud giant, and as well as the Pathfinder Adamantine Golem. Now, these would be some creatures that your group or party would love to try and get on their side, fighting Orcus if it came down to blows. After all, being a terrifying high CR, and a terrifying amount of undead he may bring with him, he is not going to be an easy fight. With a CR of 26, he is worth it for that 90,000 experience points. But he does have telepathy and speaks all languages, so you have no way to really trick him, and with his high wisdom, intelligence, constitution, and charisma, and his only real downside being dexterity, as his amazing strength definitely fixes and I say replaces, he is definitely going to be a challenge for any group to face, even a high-level adventuring party. After all, nothing's worse than dealing with the Lord of Undeath, and he summons a bunch of skeletons, or possibly death tyrants with their own swarms of skeletal warriors at their command. Oh boy, he could shape up to possibly one day take back the main demon prince throne from his brother Demogorgon, and really mess him up. This makes me really wonder, is Wizards going to create a Demogorgon premium figure of such quality soon? I don't know. I haven't looked at the news, but I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye out because this bad boy is awesome. Now, I want to give a shout out to my awesome bro and sis, my bro Zach and my sister Gabby. They had gotten me this lovely miniature as a birthday gift, and I am definitely grateful. This thing is an impressive and awesome addition to my collection, as I don't really happen to have other demon lords, and none of such great quality and definitely presence on the board. Do I recommend if you can get a hold of him? Yes, indeed. He is quite expensive, though, at around an $79.99 MSRP, and a little higher on the internet if you go onto eBay or random sell sites. So, if you can find one for that same price, or maybe even on a deal, definitely recommend snagging him. He will make any trip to the abyss a living nightmare for your players, or in this case, an undying one. As stated before, he could never defeat me, but I would definitely welcome the challenge, as it would at least be a good fight. Now, anyway, guys, have a great one out there, and if you wouldn't mind, like and subscribe. It helps out the channel greatly. Also, ring the notification if you're new. It's down below, helps you get updates for any future videos I may throw out there. Also, check out our podcast for the Dice and Dummies. Soon we're going to be doing Season 3, and we'll be doing it live, so you can ask us questions while we're playing, and we might take a moment to answer them. And you can see us in person acting out our characters. Anyway, guys, have a great one. Tune in next time, and goodbye.